So kind of breaking news a bit out of nowhere, really. It looks like Fabio Silva's going to go to Anderlecht on a flat loan. Anderlecht's going to pay his wages. No option to buy, just a simple loan for a year. And yeah, it's a bit out of nowhere. I'm kind of surprised. I think it's a bit of a shame. I like Fabio Silva, but I think it's something that should be, you should be excited for. This, first of all, it guarantees Wolves are going to buy a striker. There's no way we're going to go into next season with just Raul Jimenez. So this basically confirms Wolves are going to buy a striker, which I think everyone should be excited about, assuming you trust the club to do that, obviously. But I think this is a great loan for Fabio. I really do. Look, everyone has their own opinion on Fabio Silva. I rate Fabio Silva. I thought he had a pretty good first season under Nuno, considering all the circumstances. Last season, I thought whatever he played, he did pretty well. But look, this is kind of a make or break move for Fabio Silva now. If he does bad at Anderlecht, his kind of career's done, really. But I think he should thrive on that pressure. I've heard a lot of Wolves journalists and stuff say, "Oh well, what if you loan him out to the Championship and he flops? So what? Deal with it, bro. It's his career. It's got nothing to do with us. We can't control it. Let Fabio." Fabio's kind of just been held back at Wolves. He's not really getting a chance. Put destiny in his own hands. He's going to play in a ball-dominant Anderlecht side. Anderlecht's one of the biggest clubs in Belgium. They've finished third the last 2 years. So, you just assume they'll have a decent amount of the ball. And give Fabio his own career back. Coming off the bench for 5 minutes every game isn't going to help. Wolves fans all want a new striker. I understand why. So what, is Fabio Silva going to be third choice striker? That's unfair on him. He needs to develop. And look, I get people don't like Fabio. Some people don't like Fabio Silva. But throwing an 18-year-old kid into the Premier League, not just into the Premier League, in a god-awful Wolves side over the last 2 years, attacking-wise, defensively have been great. If Fabio Silva was a young centre-back, maybe you'd kind of assume he would have developed a bit more. But look, Fabio Silva's numbers were pretty good last year, his underlying numbers. Obviously, massively underperformed his XG. He should have scored 2 goals according to XG. That's a bit of a concern. But he's a young striker, you know what I mean? And it's not like he gets loads of chances. And I like certain things about Fabio's numbers. Top 15% on Europe's top leagues for progressive carries, 25% off progressive passes, works really hard. His defensive numbers are always great. Even the season before that, people forget Fabio Silva got 4 goals, 3 assists last season. He underperformed his XG again, which again is a bit of a concern. But if Fabio Silva was 18 this year, this was the Nuno year. If Fabio Silva was a young English striker and he played for a London club or something, he put up 7 goal contributions in 1,300 minutes, everyone would be going, wow, okay, that's pretty promising. And Fabio's underlying numbers were actually worse last year than they are this year, which to me suggests he's developed. He just hasn't really been trusted enough. And I think this is a good move for all parties. Wolves get the chance to buy a new striker who's probably a bit more first team ready. Bruno clearly doesn't really rate Fabio Silva that much, which is surprising to me considering we kind of brought in Bruno to develop this sort of player, right? But this guarantees a new striker signing. He'll be playing in a more ball-dominant side. That should help him. He's not going to get long balls punted up to him every 5 minutes. And, Fabio Silva gets shots off. He gets 3 shots per 90. He gets 7 touches in the penalty box. So for a player that's playing in a pretty bad Wolves side, attacking-wise, that's quite rare. And look, more experienced strikers have failed at Wolves than Fabio Silva. I think everyone accepts that Raul Jimenez was pretty bad last year. And look at William Jose's goal record. I was trying to explain this to someone on Twitter when Andrea Bellotti was kind of linked with us. William Jose was the 1 in 3 striker in a pretty decent La Liga side. And he came to Wolves and looked like an absolute donkey. Is that because William Jose is a terrible player? Probably not. It's just because Wolves have had an incompetent attack for about 2 years. And if you expect an 18-year-old, now 20-year-old kid to kind of fix that, it's crazy. I know the transfer fee was ridiculous, and you can criticise Jeff Shee for that, rightly so, but Fabio Silva, we shouldn't hold him to that transfer fee. We should treat him like any other 20-year-old kid. And if we had a 20-year-old kid who put up decent underlying numbers but looked like they were struggling, i.e. Morgan Gibbs-White, what would we do? We'd loan them out and see how they did. Morgan Gibbs-White took that chance, and now all of a sudden everyone's twerking for him after slagging him off a few years ago. Now everyone wants him back. Fabio Silva deserves that same chance. I don't care how much we paid for him. I don't care what money he's on. He deserves that shot to go out on loan, prove himself, and see if he can do it. And look, he's joined. He probably, in hindsight, he probably regrets joining Wolves, to be honest. But this is his shot, and the ideal scenario is Fabio Silva goes to Anderlecht. He scores 20 goals in that league, which I'd back him to do. And then next season, let's say we signed a new striker, Raul Jimenez gets phased out. Let's be honest, next season probably Raul's next. Last season anyway. And then you've got Fabio on form to compete with another striker, and hopefully Wolves are playing a back 4 by then, and we're playing better football. Fabio's more confident, gets more chances, and then all of a sudden he's a good player. The only concerns I have about this loan, Fabio Silva's only got 2 years left on his contract after this loan. So if he does go and kill it at Anderlecht, then all of a sudden, let's say a club come in and offer you 20 mil. Can you turn it down, really? Especially if he doesn't want to stay. I wouldn't say the club have been incredible to Fabio Silva, although we've put a lot of faith in him. So will he want to stay? Who knows? You could be in a Gibbs White situation where he doesn't want to stay. But generally, I wouldn't treat him different to any other 20-year-old. He deserves a loan. I wish him well. And for me, it's a bit of a red marker on Bruno Lage that he's never really gave him a chance last season. But, whatever. In other news, Joao Moutinho has obviously stayed. I think great decision. I think you have to give the club some credit. I think a lot of people were just saying, just give him a 2-year contract. Just give him whatever he wants, and it was very clear the club wanted him on a 1-year contract. I think that's the correct decision. Joao Moutinho's numbers are okay. They're fine. Like, he's pretty just league average and everything. But should you be giving Joao Moutinho $100,000 a week on a 2-year contract? No, you shouldn't. Like, I know it's a free signing technically, but if you give him $100,000 a week, which is probably what he wants, because that's what he's on now, that you're still paying like 5-6 million a year. Like, and the club will look at that and go, we could just go and take a punt on a Chiquinho type signing and play them, and then have resale value. So I understand why the club want to give him a 1-year contract. It was a correct decision. Wolves held firm, and he stayed, and it works out for everyone. It's the right decision. Wolves still need a midfielder though, and obviously Trincao hasn't stayed. I think Trincao is just right player, wrong time. I wish him well. Got nothing against him. I think Trincao. The reason I defend Trincao a lot is just because I feel like the way him and Hwang get treated by the media is very different. Hwang is just, oh well, he got injured. He got unlucky. Blah blah blah. Whereas with Trincao, no one makes any excuses for him and just write him off. But I wish Trincao well. Hope he has a good career. Got nothing against him. I think Trincao, if Wolves play better football, or Wolves, maybe let's say Trincao joined Wolves this season, we start playing a back four, I think he probably would have been better. But he didn't. And look, ultimately he didn't do enough to prove himself. I think he was a fine and all right player, but nothing more, nothing less. And if the club paid 25 million for him, that would have been ridiculous. I think if Wolves could have got him on a cheaper fee, I think if it's kind of like with René Nuri. He showed some promise, wasn't great, and this season he's improved. If Wolves could negotiate this Trincao deal to £10 million or whatever they did with René Nuri, they'd probably do it. But Barcelona aren't going to do that because Trincao is a valuable asset. So you can kind of understand why the club are doing it. But yeah, there's free outgoings now. Trincao's gone, Marcel's gone, John Ruddy's gone, Fabio Silva's gone, half the squad's gone, and I get why people are concerned. But I think Wolves wouldn't be loaning out this many players if they didn't have some people in their back pocket. A lot of clubs do this. They kind of get rid of the deadwood, then buy the players in. It's concerning. I'm not saying I'm not concerned. I've kind of defended the club a bit on Twitter, and people got mad at me. But I think, look, the next few weeks are crucial. For me, you judge a transfer window at 3 points. When you go on the pre-season tour, when the season starts, and when the end of the window starts. We go away to, Spain next week? I'd like to think we'd have a signing in by then. But I think the things the club have done are correct. Not keeping Marcel, not keeping Ruddy, not keeping Trincao, loaning out Fabio. I think the club are doing the correct things. It's just not the things we care about because we want incomings. But I'm not going to turn on the club or say fucking Jeff Shee out or whatever. I'm going to give it time. Am I concerned? Yes. But I think the club are doing the right things outgoing-wise. Wolves have a good record with loans, which is why I think Fabio Silva will do well at Anderlecht, by the way. Since we brought in that loans manager guy, we're clearly doing something right. But yeah, frustrating, but I think we are doing the right things. A bit of patience, judge the transfer window in a few weeks. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, peace.